Why?
From inside the ring to behind the scenes, you're about to be up to no good with former WWE superstar Hood Benson and his co-host Pete Clark.
All right, yeah, Pete, I'm just saying, Pete, you can't get into a fight with a fan, no matter what the circumstances are.
Oh, but Hood, the fan attacked him first. What was he supposed to do?
Hey, look, I get it. You know, it's a tough situation to be in. You know, fans are crazy. You know, and if 30 years ago, I probably would have done much worse than this
Yes,
guy
you would.
did. You know, I ended up in jail.
Yeah.
You know? But he has to realize that WWE is the big leagues.
Yeah, well.
You know, this is not in the garage. You know, there's zero tolerance for that sort of thing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that's why Triple H had no chance to pull his contract.
No choice. Well, I would have liked to see him get a second chance.
A second chance.
Yeah.
You know, he ain't even signed the contract yet for his first chance.
All right.
You know, he didn't even earn the right for a second chance.
Okay, fine, but let's talk about what's happened since then. The videos of the fight have gone viral, and BCW's capitalizing on the notoriety by having their very first online pay-per-view. So it seems as if Baron Blade and his protege are making a positive out of this, no?
I will give him credit for that.
All right.
You know, you got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
Right now, this guy's lava hot.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, we wouldn't be talking about him otherwise.
Mm-hmm. So, are you going to order the pay-per-view?
I do want to see what this guy's all about in the ring, you know. So I was thinking maybe you could order it at your house, and I'll come over to watch.
I knew that was
bring
coming.
some chips and everything. Hey,
Yeah,
what do I always say? It's not how much you make, it's how much you save.
Yeah, by mooching off your friends.
Exactly. Well, you know. Hey, look, I'll get the next one.
Famous last words. Sure you will. Let's take a minute to hear from our advertisers who pay for the show and also allow me to afford to have you use my friend.
His voice was the soundtrack for the biggest matches in square and circle history, and now he breaks down the latest happenings in the world of pro wrestling. Get ready for enticing conversations with legendary wrestling commentator Jack Tice.
Former wrestler and now indie promoter Baron Blade has been in the news along with his protege from BCW, who reports say had a contract offer on the table from WWE until he got into a fight with a masked fan outside the arena after his tryout match. Now, word is Triple H was furious and pulled the contract offer the next day. We tracked down the person who recorded the video of the altercation that went viral, and he had this to say.
I was recording the video on my phone when the guy in the mask came out of nowhere and attacked him. I didn't get a real good look at the masked guy because it happened so fast, but from the way he was fighting, it seemed like he knew what he was doing. Like he wasn't just some regular fan.
Interesting first-hand account on what went down, but I wanted to hear from the man who's now capitalizing on this controversy. So I reached out to BCW owner Baron Blade. Here's a preview of what he had to say.
Jack, you've been in this business for a long time, so you know it was once possible for a wrestler to be successful outside the WWE umbrella. And that's what I'm trying to do with BCW and Buzz. That's what we're calling him now, by the way, on account of all the buzz he's generating. But back to my point, which is, who knows what would have happened if Buzz signed with NXT? It might have been 2 or 3 years before he was called up to Raw or SmackDown, and there's no guaranteeing that would have even happened at all. But I'm helping him make his own success right now. BCW is small, and we can move fast to capitalize on all the attention. WWE is this huge behemoth of a company where you need to hold 25 meetings to make a decision that we can make in 2 minutes.
Oh, I know all about that, believe me.
And I'm not saying that BCW is going to take down WWE. I mean, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. All I'm saying is that guys like Buzz and Cole Quinn have a lot more opportunities right now with me than they might ever have with WWE.
Very interesting comments from Baron Blade, who is about to hold BCW's very first internet-only pay-per-view. Buzz, as Baron's calling him, has made his name online, and they're sticking with that platform for their show. That's a smart move, in my opinion. Coming up, you'll hear much more from my conversation with Baron Blade, including who he thinks might have attacked his protege, Buzz. You don't want to miss out on that. But first, a word from our sponsors.
From inside the ring to behind the scenes, you're about to be up to no good with former WWE superstar Hood Benson and his co-host Pete Clark.
It's like Buzz can't get away from what happened. I mean, he had a match in Mexico versus El Mago, which was a great match, but then out comes some idiot wearing the same mask as the fan who attacked him outside the WWE arena. And the match is ruined.
I didn't see the match, but this kind of stuff happens.
Wow.
It's especially in places like Mexico, where the audience is very passionate about wrestling.
Okay, I guess.
You know, I once had a fan in Mexico sneak into my hotel room disguised as a room service guy.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. Did you tip him?
Yeah, I tipped him right over the balcony.
Oh, man.
You know, you don't sneak into wrestlers' hotel rooms, people. It's a bad idea. Very
That's
bad.
Some solid advice, Hood. By the way, did you see BCW is running their next streaming pay-per-view from the same venue that was once home to Monday Night Raw? That's a big step up from high school parking lots.
Yeah, sure it is. You know, it is, and let's be real. It's a shot across WWE's bow. You know, it's no coincidence that BCW is running this venue. You feel me? They're doing it to send a message to WWE.
Well, what do you think that message is?
You'd have to ask them. But I think at the very least it's saying, hey, look at us. We might not be in the same ballpark as you yet, but we're tailgating in the parking lot.
Well, it's certainly going to bring BCW to a whole new level, especially with the rumors swirling about the big rematch between Buzz and Cole Quinn.
Hey, they better be careful though, you know, because they might be biting off more they can chew. You know, sometimes it's easier being the little guy flying under the radar. Now they're in the spotlight and they've rattled the big dog's chain.
I think you just set a record for the number of cliches in one speech.
Hey, I'm just calling it like I see it, man.
There's another one.
Does this studio have a balcony,
What?
man? Because I'm about tired of you, man. I think you might need the Mexican room service guy treatment.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, thankfully for me, there is no balcony here that I know of. Maybe we should take a quick break to cool things down.
Yeah. Give me some more tea, man. Give me some lemonade. You know, I think that's a good idea right now.
Yeah, some 90 proof tea, please, right here.
Thirsty.
His voice was the soundtrack for the biggest matches in squared circle history, and now he breaks down the latest happenings in the world of pro wrestling. Get ready for enticing conversations with legendary wrestling commentator Jack Tice.
Baron Blade's BCW is certainly pushing its issue with Triple H further when last week BCW wrestlers Buzz and Cole Quinn invaded NXT and made their presence known. This was in response to Triple H recently shutting down the online feed on a BCW pay-per-view for various legal reasons. Now look here, I've seen this type of stuff happen before, and it usually doesn't end well for the guys who are doing the invading. I'm not saying that's always the case. There's DX's invasion of WCW, which some would say helped turn around the Monday Night Wars in favor of WWE. But that was a much different situation, and more often than not, the little guys who are looking for the rub, if you will, from the bigger company end up getting more than they bargained for. I mean, come on, if Triple H went after BCW just for running a former WWE venue, imagine what he's gonna do after these guys jump the barricade and disrupt the NXT broadcast, which we all know is Triple H's baby. See, if I were these guys, I'd stay as far away from Orlando as I could from now on. You made your point. You got some more buzz, pun intended. Now better back off before you do any major damage to your futures, which, to be honest, they may have already done. In any event, I'll be watching to see what BCW's next move is, just like all of you, and I just hope it's a smart one.
Speaking of championships, let's talk about the U.S. title picture on SmackDown Live. It's been really heating up since Buzz's victory over Bobby Roode at Backlash, especially with the return of the U.S. title open challenge.
Hey, I give all the credit in the world to Buzz. I wasn't sold on this guy coming in. I thought he needed some time in NXT to learn.
But that was never going to happen given his history with Triple H.
Will you let me finish?
By all means.
I was going to say I thought he needed some time in NXT, but I realized that was impossible. Anyway, with that being said, he's been on a tear recently on SmackDown. But I think he might have hit a roadblock this past week in the form of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, if you didn't see it, what Hood's referring to is KO and Sami Zayn's beatdown on Buzz after his match with Sami on SmackDown.
I've seen some beatdowns and beat-ups. but that was on a whole other level. That might have been a beat sideways.
Yeah. What did you think about Sammy wearing the Baron Blade mask? I thought it was kind of a cheap move.
That wasn't cheap. That was smart. This is WWE. You gotta do whatever you can to get an edge. You look at your opponent and see what you can use to exploit any mental weakness they might have. And Buzz has obviously got some major baggage with Baron Blade. I would have done the same exact thing.
Yeah, but it didn't work, though. Buzz is still the United States champion.
Okay, well, I would have done it better and won the match.
All right, yeah. Yeah, not gonna lie, after hearing you talk like this, I'm a little concerned you've been playing mind games with me all this time.
Maybe I have. Maybe I haven't.
Okay, now this is getting uncomfortable. Let's take a break so I can make sure Hood hasn't been gaslighting me the past 2 years.
2 years? We've been doing this podcast for 4 years.
What?
I'm just messing with you. It's been 5 years.
You're insane.
Now, I don't want to say I told you so,
No,
but...
I feel like you do, so just go ahead and say it.
Okay, fine. I told you all along that Buzz's history with Triple H was going to catch up to him, and now it has. And you can't embarrass the game like he did and expect to get away with it. This time it cost him the U.S. title. Who knows what it will be next time?
What do you mean next time? Triple H got his revenge.
You think Triple H is satisfied with that? This is just the start of it. Triple H isn't going to stop until Buzz's career is in shambles.
Well, you've dealt with Triple H over the years. What can Buzz do?
He has two choices. Keep fighting against all odds, or take his ball and go home.
Ah, well, if I had to guess, I don't think Buzz is going anywhere. Actually, I take that back, because one place he is going is Japan for WWE's upcoming tour, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does over there versus Nakamura.
Look, wrestling in Japan for the first time is hard enough. There's the long flight over, the language barrier, the food's different. Then combine that with having to face Nakamura on his home turf, there's no chance Buzz can walk away from the match with a victory.
No chance, huh? Would you like to make a small wager on that?
What are you thinking?
Well, nothing involving money, because I know you'll never pay up. Yeah. How about if Buzz wins, you have to say on the air that I am a wrestling genius.
You're a wrestling idiot for thinking Buzz is going to win. So when Nakamura wins, how about you have to wash my truck?
Well, that's not that bad. All right, you have yourself a deal.
You didn't let me finish.
What?
Wash my truck dressed like a Bella twin.
Oh, well, that certainly took an odd turn. Buzz, if you're listening, please win this match. I know Nikki Bella is fearless, but I am not.
Come on, Nakamura. Let's make Pete an honorary Bella twin. You can do it.
I've had the pleasure of calling a lot of big-time matches in my career, some of those in Japan. And it's rare that I say this, but I wish I'd been able to call that triple threat match between Buzz, AJ Styles, and Shinsuke Nakamura. It really was a thing of beauty. I even got up at 4 a.m. to watch the special live on the WWE Network, and that says a lot, because there aren't too many things at my age that get me out of bed before the roosters are up. Big picture, if there's one thing we can take away from all this, is that this Japanese tour and the WWE Network special specifically really put Buzz on the map. I mean, we're talking Steve Austin, King of the Ring, 1996 level here, folks. Just as that night shot Austin out of a cannon and catapulted him into another stratosphere, I really think that's what this night will do for Buzz. And look, this isn't just Jack Tice saying this, okay? After the match, AJ Styles gave Buzz that Wolfpack sign, which is a sign of respect for AJ and many others. It means Buzz has earned his stripes in AJ's book, all right? So what's next for Buzz? We all know what happened with Austin in the years following King of the Ring. He went on to hold countless titles despite Mr. McMahon trying anything and everything he could to stop him. Could we be seeing something similar here with Buzz and Triple H playing the role of Mr. McMahon? Only time will tell, but barring any major setbacks, I see big, big things in this man's future.
It's been over a month since Buzz beat Nakamura in Japan, and I won our bet. Now Buzz beats John Cena at SummerSlam in a submission match, just like I said he would, and you still won't say it.
Okay, fine.
Come on.
Man, you're... Okay, fine. Man, you're annoying.
Yeah, come on.
You're a wrestling genius. There, you happy?
Say it with my full name.
Pete Clark is a wrestling genius.
Yes! Thank you.
Now, can we actually talk about what happened with Buzz after the SummerSlam match? That's what people want to hear.
Yes, since I am officially a wrestling genius, now we can move on. So let's talk about the huge announcement that was made. Buzz has been traded to Monday Night Raw.
This sort of thing is unheard of. He was just reaching the top of SmackDown with his win over Cena, and then boom, he's gone.
It has certainly turned the world of WWE upside down. I mean, think about the potential matchups for Buzz that we're going to get on Raw. Samoa Joe, Bray Wyatt, Elias, The Miz, Braun Strowman, just to name a few. I'm really excited.
Slow down, wrestling genius. Buzz could very easily lose to every one of those superstars you just named, because I think this move to Raw might be putting too much pressure on him.
Come on.
It's a lot to handle for someone who's still relatively new to WWE. Plus, if Buzz thought Triple H was getting involved in this business on SmackDown, it's going to be 10 times worse on Raw, where GM Kurt has to answer to Triple H's wife, Stephanie McMahon.
Well, well, you heard it here first. Buzz's career is headed for a downward spiral, and he's never gonna win another match.
That's not what I said. I just stated my opinion that's backed up by my experience as a WWE superstar. That's something a wrestling genius would have no clue about.
Oh, yeah, well, I strongly disagree. I think Buzz is going to be just fine. He's handled everything that's been thrown at him so far, and I see no reason that will change.
You know I'm gonna have them beep that line I said about you being a wrestling genius when this airs, right?
What? You wouldn't dare.
We'll see.
Some big news happening on the indie scene involving the BCW and Baron Blade, and unfortunately, once again, it's not anything positive. I have it on good authority that BCW will be closing its doors, and all future scheduled events have been canceled after Baron's double cross of his protege Buzz played out in front of a worldwide audience on NXT. Not too many wrestlers, or fans for that matter, were lining up to do business with Baron. Reports are that attendance dropped drastically, and debts were owed to various wrestlers and companies, which led to Baron trying to right the sinking ship with his own personal finances, even putting his house on the market. But apparently it was too late for BCW, which is unfortunate because at one point it was a viable option for wrestlers outside of WWE, and also another choice on the menu, if you will, for wrestling fans. Now, despite how you may feel about Baron Blade, this is no time for celebration, okay? In my opinion, the more wrestling that's out there, the better. And I'm not going to rejoice when someone loses their livelihood or their home, despite any questionable decisions they might have made in the past. While Baron Blade has hit a rough patch, it's been quite the opposite for his protege Buzz, who's had a ton of success since being traded to Monday Night Raw, most recently defeating The Miz at Hell in a Cell in a title versus title match. Now, if Buzz can avoid injury and any of the other setbacks we've seen superstars suffer, then the sky's the limit for this blue chipper. I just hope that with the loss of his mentor coinciding with his quick rise to the top, that someone is there to keep his ego in check and also look out for his best interest. But when you have instant success like he's had, I have no doubt there's a giant target on his back in that locker room.
We have a huge show for you today recapping everything that happened at WWE's TLC event, but the first thing we have to discuss is that encounter, for lack of a better term, between Buzz and Bray Wyatt.
I certainly wouldn't call it a match, that's for sure.
I've watched it a few times now, Hood, and I'm still not sure what really happened.
It was bizarre to say the least. I mean, if I had a nickel for every time my opponent knocked me out with gas in the locker room before the match, then brought me to his creepy compound where I had to fight off all sorts of crazy things, only for it to end with a fire, then I'd be flat broke, because that just doesn't happen.
I mean, we're at a point where I'm questioning if the authorities should be called. Buzz was kidnapped, essentially.
You might have a point there, Pete. What happened has no place in wrestling.
Well, we're talking about a guy who has everything going for him, and now after what Bray Wyatt did, he might never be the same. It's disgusting.
Yeah, from what I hear, he's in a bad way, and it may be out for a while.
Uh-huh. Well, what do you think's going to happen with the title?
This is bigger than titles, man. We're talking about a man's career and well-being. You said it yourself. Buzz might never be the same after this. Bruises and bones will heal, but your mental psyche will not. It's times like this, I'm glad I'm retired, because I would want nothing to do with Bray Wyatt.
Well, hard to jump into the rest of the TLC card after that, so let's take a break, and then we'll try to get into it.
Yeah, that dude is nuts, man. Come in like that.
Yeah.
We have a very special guest coming up on today's show, coming off his huge win, teaming with Finn Balor at the Royal Rumble. Here's a sneak preview of what Buzz had to say when I caught up with him right after the Rumble.
Do I think I've seen the last of Bray Wyatt? Man, I hope so. These past few months have really taken a toll on me, both physically and emotionally. But now that I've defeated him and managed to help out my friend Cole, I hope I can move on to a new challenge.
As you move on to new challenges, do you see Finn Balor being there by your side?
I'd like him to be, because as we all saw at the Royal Rumble, I think we make a really good team. But he's a busy guy, and he has his own goals and his own priorities. If I had to guess, though, I'd say you haven't seen the last of Buzz and Balor joining forces.
Well, listen here, I'm a big fan of yours, Buzz, and I'm not just saying that because you're a guest on my show. I've been saying that since you got to WWE. In fact, even before that.
Well, I'm a big fan of yours too, Jack. From back in the day when you were commentating to now with your podcast, I never miss an episode, and I've heard all the kind things you've said about me. So, thanks for that.
Hey, I've been around the block a few times, and I think I know talent when I see it. And after what you did at the Royal Rumble, finding your inner demon to defeat Bray Wyatt, I don't think it's a stretch to say you're the new monster among men in WWE.
The new monster among men. That's quite the compliment, Jack. I don't know if I've earned it yet, but I'll take it. Thanks again.
Now, you can hear more from my conversation with Buzz, including who he thinks his next opponent will be. But first, a word from our fine sponsors. Well, he's done it, ladies and gentlemen. There is no bigger story right now to discuss than Buzz winning the Universal title. And this was no fluke, okay? He won the title in an Elimination Chamber match where he was the first entrant along with none other than Braun Strowman. When you take a step back, it's truly remarkable to think about what Buzz has accomplished in such a short amount of time. I mean, if it feels like he just got to the WWE, it's because he did. In fact, in preparing for today's show, I looked at some of the names that have climbed to the top of the mountain in record speed like Buzz now has. I mean, we're talking some heavy hitters here, folks. Hall of Fame level talent. The Undertaker, he won his first world title a little over a year after making his WWE debut. That was longer than it took Buzz. Kurt Angle, took him less than a year to win the title, but still longer than Buzz. There are a few guys you might have heard of that did it just a little bit faster. Big Show, Kane, Brock Lesnar, and a guy by the name of Ric Flair. I mean, that's pretty good company, if you ask me. But if I have one piece of advice for the new champion, it's that just because people like me can now mention you in the same breath as those legends, it does not mean you're their equal yet, all right? One win does not define a career. So celebrate the moment, but be ready, because it's only going to get harder from now on. If you thought there was a target on your back before, it's now 100 times bigger with that Universal title strapped around your waist. Success breeds jealousy from all corners of your life. And I'd also be willing to bet that none of this is going to sit well with Triple H, who by all accounts is feeling a bit perturbed to say the least. Good luck, Buzz, and congrats on your first Universal title reign, which if all goes well, I am sure will be the first of many.
Why, AJ, why? That is the question we are all asking today after what happened at WWE Fastlane. I still can't believe what transpired, Hood.
Hey, I was shocked like everyone else, but I get it, okay?
What?
When it comes down to it, WWE is every man for himself. It's like my old buddy Stone Cold Steve Austin used to say, DTA, don't trust anybody.
Oh, come on, Hood. Buzz had built up this relationship with AJ and Finn for months. They literally had just teamed together to defeat Evolution. And you're going to sit there and say what they did was justified?
AJ Styles had the money in the bank briefcase, okay?
What?
What was he supposed to do? Just hang on to it forever and never cash it in?
I understand he had the briefcase, but you don't do that to someone who's supposed to be your friend. Cash it in before or after your alleged friend is champion.
Wait. Is there some kind of money in the bank briefcase rule book that I'm not aware of?
No, but it's just a matter of basic human decency.
Look, it's all about that Universal title, okay? AJ Styles has a family to support, and if he's champion, that means he can support his family better and longer.
Well, then how do you explain Finn Balor's actions, huh? What does he get out of all this?
I don't know. Maybe AJ Styles promised Finn a future title shot. Maybe Buzz had gotten on Finn's nerves. I'm sure we'll find out more in the coming days.
Yeah, well, I, for one, can't wait to hear an explanation from these snakes. That's what they are, snakes!
Hold up a second. AJ Styles just posted,
Oh, yeah?
He said he'll address the WWE Universe tonight on Raw, and that he has a very special guest to help him explain his actions.
What? Who in the world could possibly help him explain his actions? There is no good explanation.
I think you need to calm down, Pete. You're acting like AJ and Finn turned on you or something.
Well, I just can't believe you can continue to sit here and support these guys.
Do you need to take a minute to cool off?
No, I'm fine.
Pete Clark has finally lost it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.